Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today's video is going to be a follow-up to yesterday's video, which discussed all the best star cards for the heroes in Galactic Assault. Well, today we're going to do the exact same thing, except we will be talking about the best star cards for every villain in Galactic Assault. These card loadouts have been what have helped me to get some really high kill streaks while playing, and I definitely think they will help out both new and experienced players in the game. Anyways, with that said, be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and turn on all notifications, as my analytics tells me that 19% of you guys have notifications turned on, which is awesome, but let's try to bump those numbers up a little bit. On top of this, I have pinned a comment down below where you can vote for the next video that I will be uploading, so make sure to scroll down and drop a quick comment down there right now, and we will get straight into the tips. And remember that I do have PJ's version of this video linked down below. Anyways, jumping straight into it, we are going to be talking first about Count Dooku. Now, the star cards I have currently equipped for Count Dooku are Sith Control, which basically gives Count Dooku an increase of maximum health regeneration. Again, like I said in yesterday's video, the key to kill streaks is staying alive for longer, and this gives Dooku 120 extra health regeneration, which if you do take a large amount of damage early on, it's going to help you to regen that right back up to full. So it's a very useful card, and I've found it saving me a lot of the time. The next star card that I do use is called Balanced Duelist. This card reduces the recharge time of the Duelist ability, and I love using this ability because it just does so much damage and the strikes are so quick that your time to kill is extremely fast when using it. So I definitely recommend using this one, and then to top it all off, I use the star card Initiative, which if you didn't know, every 15 seconds Count Dooku's basic attack will be a critical strike dealing extra damage. This cooldown is reduced by 1 second for every successful lightsaber attack. So if you're mowing through infantry, this is going to come back even faster, and it's definitely going to give you a huge benefit because it gives you 50 extra damage when you do make those critical strikes. So these are my 3 cards for Dooku, and I've found them extremely helpful while playing GA. Next up, we're going to talk about my personal favorite villain right now, and that is of course General Grievous. You guys that have been watching the streams lately know I've been absolutely loving Grievous, and I had my highest kill streak ever with him recently at 74 kills. So the star cards I used when I got this kill streak was Beating Heart, which gives you again an increased maximum health regeneration that we touched on before. The second card is called Sith Trained, which gives you more damage with your lightsaber strikes, but they drain 25% stamina. Now, in my opinion, I think the 25% stamina drain is justifiable when you get an increased 30 damage to your lightsaber swings. You can then one-hit any infantry that come near you, and it's super satisfying just to mow them down. Now, the third star card I have been using for Grievous, and this is the major key for him when playing, Line Up Weaklings is the best star card for General Grievous. After one enemy has been hit with the Claw Rush, Grievous deals more damage with the ability. He gets an increase of 50 damage to this ability, guys, and you can one-shot any infantry except for heavies or a buffed officer. This pretty much just lets you run through everyone that's in your way, and you can wipe out pretty much 3, 4, 5, there's no limit to how many people you can kill, as long as this Claw Rush ability has the range on it. So I love using General Grievous on Naboo, it's my favorite map to use him, and Claw Rushing around the outside of the throne room in the last phase racks up an absolute ton of kills. So if you haven't tried that out, make sure to do so. The next hero we're going to talk about is Captain Phasma, and to be honest, I don't really use her all that much. There are so many other villains in this game that I would use before picking her, but the star cards I do have equipped for her start with The More the Better, which gives her sentry droid a higher rotation speed. The second star card I have been using is called Not Hard Enough. This gives Captain Phasma a damage reduction while the survivor ability is active, and then the third card I use is Safety First. This gives her 60 bonus health when using that survivor ability, so they kind of stack well together. Like I said, the key is survivability here, so giving yourself extra health as well as damage reduction is going to be a major key for Captain Phasma. Next up, we're going to talk about probably my second favorite villain in the game right now, and that is Kylo Ren. The first star card I've been using with Kylo Ren is called Bloodlust. This is where he deals more damage with his frenzy attack, so again, you can jump to more enemies with this because you're going to be killing them much quicker. The way Bloodlust works, it kind of does bonus damage, but at the same time, if you can kill an enemy quicker because you're dealing more damage, you can jump to the next enemy even faster. So instead of doing 2 strikes with the frenzy, it may only do 1 if they have been weakened a little bit. So I find this star card really useful. The second star card I use in combination with this is called Closing In. This gives Kylo Ren a longer leaping distance when attacking with the frenzy. So you've got a longer radius of lock on, and this is pretty much just going to let you charge towards an enemy that is 40% further away than if you didn't have this star card on. So we all know the situation where someone's running away from you and you're pretty much chasing them, him, you don't have your pull because it's on recharge, you don't have your freeze because it's on recharge. This is going to get you there. So that's definitely a star card that you can make use of. The third and final star card that I am using is called Power Reach, and this gives the pull ability a 30% increase of effect. I find that enemies tend to run away a fair bit when they see a hero, so being able to pull them back into you from 30% further away is a massive help with getting in that range so that you can take them out. Now, next up on the list is going to be Darth Maul. The first star card I use for Darth Maul is called Lightsaber Defense, and this gives him less overall damage from blasters. You get a 16% damage reduction when taking on blasters, which is key to survivability. Again, we want any type of damage reduction we can get when playing with heroes in Galactic Assault. The second card I use is called Flow Motion, and this is where Darth Maul gets an extra spin attack, but the recharge rate is slightly slower. Now, you have a 10% recharge time increase when you do use this star card at max level, but I think a 10% increase is next to nothing when you think about how useful having that third spin attack is going to be. One thing I like to do, and I mentioned it in my video yesterday with Luke, is one lightsaber strike and then use Darth Maul's spin attack, the same as I would use one lightsaber strike from Luke and then his rush attack. This wipes out any infantry, including heavies and buffed officers, so definitely utilize this when you can. Now, moving on to the third star card for Darth Maul, it is called Fool Me Once. The Fool Me Once star card gives the recharge rate a faster time for all of Darth Maul's abilities. So you get a 10% increase on the recharge time for any of his abilities, regardless of which one you've used. So I definitely find this handy. It's more for me to get the spin attacks back faster, so the Fool Me Once card kind of negates the effect of the Flow Motion card, so it's kind of just balancing it out a little bit, and I find it really helpful when I am playing GA. Next up on the list is Iden Versioand, and the first star card I use for her is called Acquiring Targets. This gives the stun droid an increased area of effect when searching for viable targets. This is really handy if you aren't sure exactly where the enemy is, but they're going to be found for 40% increased area of effect, which is really useful. You can use it, it's super handy, and when you are playing as Iden, you can search for enemies that are much further away. The second star card I have been using is called Cooled Blaster, where Iden's TL50 builds less heat when fired for up to 15% at max level. This is really helpful because if you do spam the secondary fire, which is probably the most effective way to play Iden, this is going to come in handy because it does build up a fair bit of heat when you're using that secondary fire pretty often. Now, speaking of the secondary fire, the last star card I use for Iden is called Alternative Methods. This gives the TL50 the ability to use alternate fire more frequently, up to 25%. So what that means for you guys that don't know is that you can fire off the alternate fire much quicker than you would be able to without this star card equipped, and when it's the most effective way to kill someone, why wouldn't you improve on that? So this, in combination with the Cooled Blaster star card, can be extremely helpful in GA. Next up, we're going to talk about Emperor Palpatine, and those of you guys that watch the channel know I absolutely despise Palpatine players. I rarely ever touch him unless I have to get gameplay for a video like this one. So when I do play him, I am using the Lightning Reach star card first of all, which gives him 30% increased range on his regular lightning attacks. The second star card I use is called Surge of Lightning, which gives Chain Lightning the ability to bounce to more targets. And then the third star card I've been using is In Full Control, which pretty much just gives Emperor Palpatine's lightning attacks the ability to drain 16% less stamina, so you can use it for longer. So those are the three star cards I use for Palpatine, although I don't really play him all that much. Next up on the list, we are going to be talking about the Dark Lord himself, Darth Vader. Now, Furious Resilience is the first card that I use, and you get less damage while his Focused Rage ability is active. You get a 25% damage reduction. So this is great. When I play Vader, I tend to play fairly aggressive because he is a big tanky hero that can take a lot of damage. The 25% damage reduction just increases this. So what I'll normally do is use Focus Rage before pushing into a group of enemies, wipe them all out, and then drop back to recover whatever health I've taken. On top of this, I stack the bonus health star card, which gives Vader 150 extra health. This makes for an absolute tank of a unit. Whenever you play Vader, you have so much health and so much damage reduction, it makes you extremely hard to take out when you're playing him. And then third and finally, the last star card I use is called There Is No Escape. This allows the lightsaber throw to travel 50% further, and it basically becomes a sniper. The amount of distance that you can actually throw this when it's equipped is insane. So it doesn't limit you on any of the maps, even if they are big and open. You can still hit people from miles away with the lightsaber throw. So those are the best cards for Vader. Let's talk about Bossk. Now, Bossk has a lot of really good cards cards, so I'm going to go over the 3 that I've been using lately, but I'm also going to mention a couple that are good to alternate in as well. This one is going to come down to personal preference, but I'm using currently the Lingering Deoxys star card, which pretty much gives the Deoxys grenade the ability to spew out smoke for up to 6 seconds longer. The second card I'm using is called Ultimate Predator, where every enemy that he defeats with the Predator instincts is going to extend the ability's duration by 30%, and then Multi-Traps, which gives you 2 additional proximity mines that have a larger detonation radius by up to 25%. These are all really great cards, but I do want to give a mention to Spreading the Disease, which makes the Deoxys cloud wider and thicker, and also the Name Your Poison star card, which allows you to regain a small amount of health for every second he stays inside the Deoxys grenade's gas. These are both really good cards, so test them out as well, see which one your personal preference is, and those are going to be the cards to go with. And finally, one of my favorite villains to play in the game as well, who is severely underrated, is Boba Fett. He's probably my highest level villain right now, and I'm starting off his loadout with fuel efficiency. Boba Fett's jetpack fuel burns slower up to 15% when using this star card, so it gives you the ability to be in the air for longer, and you're not going to have that issue of running out of your jetpack nearly as quick. The second star card I have been using is called Born to Fly. Boba Fett's ability cooldown are faster when he's in the air, but his health regeneration starts 1.5 seconds later. Now with this star card, getting your ability cooldown to be faster is really helpful, especially when currently the rocket barrage is one of his best ways to take out enemies. If you can get this back up to 20% faster, it's only going to help you guys in getting more kills. Now the third star card I use is called Focalize, and this gives rocket barrage's rockets a bonus damage at the center of the explosion within a 1 meter radius. So it's only 10 bonus damage, but that's for each rocket, so it's definitely helpful if you are using it. You can do a lot more damage to heroes if you get pushed on, and with the fuel efficiency star card, you can fly away and not worry too much about your jetpack running out. So guys, these are all the best star cards that I have found for each and every one of the villains in Battlefront 2 when playing Galactic Assault. I really hope this video helped you and you guys found something useful or some tips out of it, and you can change or tweak your loadout depending on what you're using currently, and throw in some of the star cards that I've been using that will hopefully help you guys out as well. Anyways, like I said at the start of the video, be sure to subscribe with all notifications on. Hit that thumbs up if you liked the video or if you found it helpful, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I will see you guys later, and may the force be with you always.